Ladies and gentlemen, the loudest success in the world is often built in complete silence. We live in a time where everyone feels the need to announce everything. People announce their plans, their dreams, their goals, and sometimes even the work they have not yet started. Social media has trained us to believe that progress must be visible, that every step must be shared, and that validation must come instantly from the outside world. But the truth is, the most powerful growth often happens when no one is watching. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most powerful truths about personal growth is that the most meaningful transformations often happen in silence. In a world that constantly encourages people to show everything, share everything, and announce every step of their journey, quiet growth has become rare. Many people believe progress only matters if others can see it, but real development rarely happens on a stage. It happens behind the scenes, in moments when no one is watching and no applause is being given. Think about how real change takes place in a person's life. It begins with small decisions made in private, waking up earlier than usual to work on a goal, choosing discipline over distraction, practicing a skill again and again even when the progress seems slow. These moments are rarely shared with the world. They happen quietly, away from attention, but they slowly shape the person you are becoming. The problem with constant visibility is that it can shift your focus from improvement to approval. When people start sharing every step of their journey, they sometimes begin to care more about how things look than about how things truly are. Instead of concentrating on the work, they concentrate on how the work appears to others. Silence removes that pressure. When nobody is watching, you can focus entirely on growth rather than performance. True growth requires patience, effort, and consistency. These things are not exciting at first. They are repetitive and sometimes difficult. There will be days when motivation disappears and discipline is the only thing that keeps you moving forward. In those quiet moments, you build mental strength. Every time you choose to continue when it would be easier to stop, you strengthen your character. Silence also creates space for reflection. When there is less noise from the outside world, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You start to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, and the areas where you need to improve. Self-awareness grows when your mind is not constantly distracted by outside opinions. Instead of reacting to what others expect from you, you start shaping a path that truly belongs to you. Consider how nature itself works. A seed planted in the ground does not immediately become a tree. It grows quietly beneath the soil, developing roots that nobody can see. Those roots become the foundation that supports everything that appears above the surface later. If the roots are weak, the tree cannot survive strong winds. In the same way, the silent work you do today becomes the foundation of the visible success you achieve tomorrow. When you embrace quiet growth, you stop feeling the need to prove yourself every day. You become comfortable with the process of gradual improvement. Instead of chasing instant results, you invest your energy in becoming better step by step. Over time, these small improvements accumulate and create significant change. People often underestimate the power of steady progress because it looks slow in the beginning. But what they fail to realize is that consistency multiplies results. The person who studies a little every day becomes knowledgeable. The person who trains regularly becomes stronger. The person who practices a skill patiently eventually becomes exceptional. All of this happens quietly before anyone notices. One day, the results of that silent effort begin to appear. Others suddenly see the confidence, the ability, and the progress that you have developed over time. To them, it may look like success appeared overnight, but you know the truth. You know about the unseen hours, the private struggles, and the quiet determination that built the foundation for everything they are now witnessing. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest mistakes people make when pursuing their goals is talking about them too much instead of working on them. In today's world, it has become normal for people to announce every plan they have. They share their dreams, their ideas, and their future ambitions with anyone who is willing to listen. While it may feel exciting to talk about what you are going to achieve, the truth is that constant discussion of your plans can actually weaken your progress. When people talk about their goals too early, they often receive reactions from others that influence their mindset. Some people may doubt the vision, others may criticize it, and some may simply not understand it. Even when the feedback is not meant to harm, it can create confusion and uncertainty. Suddenly, instead of focusing on the goal itself, you begin thinking about what others think about your goal. Your attention slowly shifts from building your dream to defending it. Another hidden danger of announcing plans too often is that it can create a false sense of accomplishment. When you tell people about a goal, they might praise you, encourage you, or admire your ambition. That praise can feel rewarding even though no real work has been done yet. Your brain starts to feel satisfied simply because you talked about the idea, even though the real effort has not started. This feeling can reduce the urgency to take action. Real progress requires energy, time, and concentration. Every moment you spend explaining your dreams to others is a moment that could have been invested in building them. Instead of talking about the book you want to write, you could be writing it. Instead of explaining the business you want to start, you could be learning the skills needed to run it. Instead of describing the person you want to become, you could be developing the habits that shape that person. There is also a powerful sense of freedom that comes from keeping your plans quiet. When you stop announcing every step, you remove the pressure of living up to other people's expectations. You are no longer performing for an audience. You are simply focused on growth. This allows you to make mistakes, adjust your strategy, and improve without feeling judged or watched. Silence also protects your motivation. Not everyone you speak to will support your dreams. Some people may laugh at your ambitions or try to convince you that your goals are unrealistic. Even small negative comments can slowly affect your confidence if you hear them often enough. By keeping your plans to yourself in the early stages, you create a safe space where your vision can grow stronger without being attacked by doubt. Another important reason to avoid announcing your plans too much is that actions always speak louder than words. People often respect results more than promises. Anyone can talk about success, but very few people are willing to do the work required to achieve it. When you stay quiet and focus on consistent action, you allow your achievements to become the proof of your dedication. Over time, your actions begin to reveal what your words never needed to explain. People start noticing the improvements in your skills, your discipline, and your confidence. They begin to see the progress you have made without you ever needing to describe it. What once existed only as a dream in your mind slowly becomes a visible reality. The energy that would have been spent explaining your goals is now fully invested in creating them. Your attention becomes sharper, your habits become stronger, and your focus becomes clearer. Instead of living in a world of intentions and promises, you move into a world of action and results where every quiet step brings you closer to the future you once imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most valuable lessons in the journey of personal growth is learning how to protect your vision. Every dream begins as a fragile idea in the mind. At first, it is not fully formed. It is still growing, still developing, and still searching for its strength. During this early stage, your vision needs protection, patience, and belief. If it is exposed to too many opinions too early, it can easily be weakened before it has the chance to grow. Many people make the mistake of sharing their dreams with everyone around them. They seek approval, encouragement, or excitement from others. While support can sometimes be helpful, not everyone you speak to will understand your vision. Some people may question it, some may doubt it, and others may even discourage it without realizing the impact of their words. When a dream is still new, even small doubts from others can plant uncertainty in your mind. A powerful vision requires strong belief. When you protect your vision, you give yourself the time and space needed to strengthen that belief. You allow your idea to grow quietly within you. Instead of constantly explaining it to others, you focus on developing it through action. Each step you take makes the vision clearer, stronger, and more real. Think about how nature works. When a seed is planted in the soil, it is not immediately visible. It remains hidden beneath the ground where it slowly develops roots. Those roots grow deeper and stronger before anything appears on the surface. If someone were to dig up the seed every day to check its progress, it would never grow into a plant. The same principle applies to your dreams. They need time to develop beneath the surface before they can be revealed to the world. Protecting your vision also means protecting your energy. Every time you explain your dream to someone, you invest emotional energy into that conversation. If the response you receive is negative or doubtful, it can drain your motivation. Even if you try to ignore those reactions, they may remain in your thoughts longer than you expect. By keeping your vision private in its early stages, you avoid unnecessary distractions that could weaken your focus. Another reason to protect your vision is that people often judge dreams based on their own limitations. Someone who has never pursued a big goal may believe it is impossible. Someone who gave up on their own ambitions may unconsciously project their fears onto you. Their doubts do not necessarily reflect reality, but if you listen to them too often, they can influence the way you see your own potential. When you protect your vision, you rely more on your actions than on your explanations. Instead of convincing others that your dream is possible, you quietly begin working toward it. Every small achievement strengthens your confidence. Every challenge you overcome makes your belief more powerful. Over time, the vision that once existed only in your mind begins to take shape in the real world. There is also a deep sense of personal strength that comes from trusting your own path. When you stop seeking validation from everyone around you, you begin to rely on your inner conviction. Your decisions become guided by purpose rather than by approval. You learn to trust the process of growth even when others cannot see where it is leading. Eventually, the moment arrives when your vision no longer needs protection because it has become strong enough to stand on its own. What once started as a quiet idea now exists as visible progress. The same people who may not have understood your dream at the beginning begin to see its reality. What they once questioned now becomes something they admire, and the vision you protected with patience and belief becomes proof that great things often begin quietly and grow strongest when they are given the space to develop away from constant attention. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most powerful principles behind success is the understanding that discipline practiced in private eventually creates excellence in public. What people often admire in others, their confidence, their skill, their achievements, rarely appears suddenly. Behind every impressive result is a long period of quiet preparation, consistent effort, and self-control that very few people ever witness. Many people only see the final moment when someone performs exceptionally well. They see the athlete winning the race, the speaker delivering a powerful speech, the entrepreneur running a successful business, or the artist creating something extraordinary. To the outside world, these moments look effortless, almost natural. But what the world does not see are the countless hours spent practicing, learning, and improving when no one was paying attention. Discipline is not something that is built in front of an audience. It is developed in private moments when you must choose between comfort and commitment. It shows itself when you wake up early to work on your goals while others continue sleeping. It appears when you decide to study, practice, or train, even when you feel tired or unmotivated. These decisions may seem small, but over time they shape the person you become. The truth is that discipline requires consistency, and consistency is rarely exciting. Most of the time it feels repetitive. You perform the same actions again and again, slowly improving little by little. There is often no applause, no recognition, and sometimes no visible reward in the beginning. But each of these quiet efforts strengthens your ability, your mindset, and your resilience. One of the reasons private discipline is so powerful is because it builds confidence from within. When you know how much effort you have invested in improving yourself, you no longer rely on external validation. You do not need constant praise from others to believe in your ability. Your confidence comes from the knowledge that you have prepared yourself through consistent effort. Another important aspect of private discipline is that it creates strong habits. Success is rarely the result of one big effort. Instead, it is the result of many small actions repeated over time. When you practice discipline every day, those actions gradually become part of your routine. What once required great effort eventually becomes natural behavior. This is how ordinary effort transforms into extraordinary results. Private discipline also teaches patience. In a world where many people expect immediate results, disciplined individuals understand that growth takes time. They are willing to invest months or even years in improving their skills. They trust the process even when progress feels slow. This patience gives them an advantage because they continue working while others give up too soon. Over time, the results of this discipline begin to appear in public moments. When the opportunity finally comes to perform, speak, compete, or lead, the preparation done in private becomes visible. The confidence, skill, and composure that people admire are not accidents. They are the natural outcome of the work that was done long before the spotlight appeared. What often surprises people is how suddenly success seems to arrive. Others may believe that someone became talented or successful overnight. But the person who lived through the journey understands that nothing about it was sudden. Every visible achievement is simply the final expression of years of hidden effort. This is why the most successful individuals focus less on being impressive in public and more on being disciplined in private. They understand that the stage only reveals what preparation has already created. The habits practiced in silence, the lessons learned through quiet struggle, and the determination to keep improving when no one is watching eventually combine to create a level of excellence that the world cannot ignore. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most powerful forces behind any meaningful achievement is the combination of patience and consistency. These two qualities may not sound exciting, and they rarely attract attention, but they are the quiet engines that drive real success. In a world where people often expect quick results and instant recognition, patience and consistency remind us that lasting progress takes time. Many people begin their journey toward a goal with excitement and strong motivation. In the beginning, everything feels possible. The energy is high, the vision is clear, and the desire to succeed is powerful. But as time passes, challenges begin to appear. Progress may feel slower than expected. Obstacles arise, and the excitement that once fueled the journey begins to fade. This is the moment where patience and consistency become more important than motivation. Patience teaches you to accept that growth does not happen overnight. Real improvement often takes months or even years of steady effort. Skills develop gradually. Confidence grows through repeated experiences. Knowledge expands through continuous learning. None of these things happen instantly, and expecting immediate results can lead to frustration and disappointment. When you understand the value of patience, you stop rushing the process and begin to trust it instead. Consistency, on the other hand, is the habit of showing up again and again, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It means taking action even on days when motivation is low. It means continuing to work toward your goals even when the results are not immediately visible. Consistency transforms small actions into powerful results because repeated effort multiplies over time. Imagine someone who improves just a little every single day. Each day may not look impressive on its own. The progress may seem almost invisible at first. But when those small improvements are repeated hundreds of times, they eventually create a dramatic transformation. What began as a tiny step forward slowly becomes a powerful movement towards success. One of the biggest reasons people fail to achieve their goals is not a lack of talent or ability. Often, it is simply a lack of patience. Many individuals give up when they do not see quick results. They assume their efforts are not working, so they stop before the real progress begins to appear. They forget that the early stages of growth are often the quietest and the slowest. Consistency helps you move through this difficult stage. When you develop the habit of working steadily, you stop depending on motivation alone. Your actions become part of your routine. Instead of asking yourself whether you feel inspired today, you simply continue doing what needs to be done. This steady rhythm builds momentum that gradually pushes you closer to your goal. Patience also protects your mindset during difficult moments. There will be days when progress feels invisible and challenges seem overwhelming. Without patience, these moments can make you doubt yourself and your direction. But when you understand that growth takes time, you learn to see these difficulties as part of the process rather than as signs of failure. Over time, patience and consistency begin to reveal their true power. The small actions you repeated every day start producing noticeable results. Skills that once felt difficult become natural. Confidence replaces doubt. What once required great effort now feels easier because your habits have strengthened your abilities. From the outside, people may suddenly notice your progress and wonder how you achieved so much. They may believe that your success appeared quickly, but they did not witness the long period of steady effort that made it possible. What they are seeing is not a sudden breakthrough, but the accumulation of countless small steps taken with patience and consistency over time. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most powerful principles for achieving meaningful success is learning to let your results speak louder than your words. In a world where many people feel the need to constantly talk about their plans, their ambitions, and their future achievements, true confidence often reveals itself through quiet action. Instead of announcing every intention, those who focus on producing real results understand that actions carry far greater weight than promises. Words are easy. Anyone can talk about the goals they want to achieve or the life they dream of building. It takes very little effort to describe a vision or explain a plan. But turning those words into reality requires something much deeper. It demands discipline, patience, and consistent effort over time. This is why results hold such power. They represent the proof of dedication, the evidence that someone was willing to do the work rather than simply talk about it. When people spend too much time explaining their potential, they often become trapped in a cycle of promises. They continue describing what they will do someday, but that day never seems to arrive. The focus remains on intentions rather than action. On the other hand, when someone shifts their attention from talking to doing, everything begins to change. Their energy becomes directed toward building, improving, and learning instead of convincing others of what they might accomplish. Allowing your results to speak for you also builds a deeper form of confidence. When your achievements are based on real effort, you no longer need to rely on approval from others. Your belief in yourself comes from the work you have already completed. Every challenge you overcome strengthens your sense of capability. Every milestone you reach becomes a reminder that progress is possible through persistence. There is also a unique impact that comes when success appears without constant announcements. When people quietly dedicate themselves to improvement, others may not notice the changes immediately. The progress happens gradually, step by step, often outside the view of the world. But over time, the results begin to appear. Skills improve, opportunities expand, and achievements become visible. When this happens, the transformation often surprises those who did not witness the journey. To outsiders, it may seem as if success arrived suddenly. They may ask how everything changed so quickly. They may wonder where the progress came from or when it started. What they do not see are the countless hours of effort that took place behind the scenes. They do not see the late nights, the early mornings, the repeated attempts, and the determination required to keep moving forward. When results speak louder than words, they create a powerful form of credibility. People trust what they can see and experience. They believe in what has already been achieved more than in what is simply promised. This credibility opens doors to new opportunities because others recognize the dedication and reliability that produce those results. Focusing on results also helps maintain clarity and direction. Instead of worrying about what others think or how things appear from the outside, you remain focused on the process of improvement. Each day becomes an opportunity to take another step forward. Every action becomes part of a larger effort to turn your vision into something real and tangible. Over time, this quiet commitment to action builds a reputation that words alone could never create. Your work begins to represent who you are. Your achievements reflect your discipline, your patience, and your determination. Without needing to explain or defend your ambitions, the progress you have made becomes the most powerful message you could ever deliver to the world.